Here we go. Right, I think we'll start now. We've got everyone in. We never normally start until Megan turns up, and she's turned up. Good morning, Megan.
Morning.
Is it windy up in Liverpool?
It is, yeah.
Oh yeah, it's perfect sunshine down here in London. Everyone's in flip flops and shorts. No, it's blowing a hoolie. Right, we'll go into it straight away. We've got 10 minutes. Most people had a long weekend. For those of you who traded yesterday will realise there's a few figures that came out, and obviously we saw early on as such. The start of the month that came in and buying in the indices from the word go, saying that we would expect the FTSE to rally today because it was shut yesterday. The other reasons why the market has sort of I think we used the word taper off because I think that's going to be the word of the week. Word of caution, though, coming in today and tomorrow, for those of you are aware, both China and Japan are on holiday. Hence, the bond markets are fairly quiet this morning. And we go on from that. Quickly going on from yesterday, those of you who traded the ISM yesterday, the biggest figure yesterday at 3 o'clock, it slipped down to 60.7 from 65.5. The main reason for that, and that's come out this morning, was the transport and raw material shortage rather than the dip in output. If you look at the discussion page next door, the boss of Alliance has come out and said the same thing. There's a massive shortage of things going around the world at the moment, which are obviously therefore causing the prices to rise, and therefore we are starting to get a slight whiff of inflation coming out. Going out on we're quickly calendar today. Those of you who are not on our email early morning thing, ping over your email on the discussion group and I'll add you to it. 7:45 with the French budget that came out, which is slightly worse. Year to date, minus 60.18 billion. I'll put you have the screen here so you can share it. Against 47.6, didn't really do a lot. 9 a.m. we have Viceroy out. 9:30 we have UK manufacturing PMI out. Obviously, it will affect the cable and FTSE. We have to long wait then until 3 o'clock for US durable goods and factory orders. And then, of course, we have the Fed's daily out. The one thing we have out also at 8 o'clock, this evening, is Mr. Kaplan. Those of you who aren't aware of Mr. Kaplan, he made a fairly important speech on Friday. And those of you who are aware, he is a hawk. He has mentioned all along that he wants interest rates higher. And no doubt at 6 o'clock, we'll expect him to mention the word tapering and so-called, because he is one of the very few that comes out. Again, heading on to that, we did have, I think it was Mr. Williams said last night, and Mr. Powell spoke last night, both, I wouldn't say alluding to the fact that the economy is going well, but I think Powell said it's clear there's a big shift in the economy and the outlook has improved, but not enough for the FOMC to shift its policy, monetary policy mandate as such. So my view is quite simple that the ISM wasn't that brilliant. However, if we get another 900,000 non-farm payroll figure, which those of you are aware is out this Friday at 1:30, and it continues to be strong, we will start gravitating towards more Fed members who will all speak this week, mentioning moving sooner than projected. So be very, very much aware of that, of those people speaking all week. Again, the reason why we mentioned the word inflation taper, South Korean figures came out today, and their inflation is at a 4-year high. One other thing that bearing in mind for emails sent to me is that the Belt and Road Initiative, which China put out to the rest of the world, seems to be, I wouldn't say falling apart, but maybe needs some addressing as such, because both Italy and Draghi have hardened their act with China, and the Greens policy, those of you are aware who the Greens are in Germany, they're currently leading the election coming into Germany, which is in September. The other one that came out with Schneibel of Germany has said it would be a disaster if the EU reconstruction fund is stopped. And the last one of all is Japan's initial curfew over the coronavirus comes out. Again, obviously on the news as such, the news from India isn't very appealing. However, the rest of the things look fairly forward as such. We're going to quickly get rid of that one and put up our indices that come out fairly flat in the morning with no news coming out from what we had on yesterday. Obviously, the FTSE slightly up, but not really. I'd have thought the FTSE would probably been 20 or 30 ticks higher than that. Obviously, we may have to wait to the 8 o'clock opening. And what we may see, as we saw last week, is the DAX hardly moving and the FTSE bars piling in at the start of the month. For those of you who joined on Zoom on Friday, gosh, it's a long time ago, Friday at 4:30, we saw a slight sell-off on the FTSE at 4:30 due to both the funds getting out for month end. If they do get out for month end, they tend to get back for the month of beginning as such, but they'll be the cash buys and they'll all come in at 8 o'clock. Hopefully we'll see them come in, but my view is I'll be looking for some buying at 8 o'clock in the FTSE and therefore not so much in the DAX. So again, I said before, that'd be my plan. I'm not going to sell the DAX and buy the FTSE, but I'm very much looking for a jump in the FTSE to come in as such. Going on for the rest of the week, we're going to try and do a Zoom for the 2:25 for the Wall Street opening, because that seems to be some of the best benefits to both my trading and obviously the most of our other members trading. Just on price action again. So we've got 2-3 minutes coming in here. George has just wandered in. You're going to do the DAX, the FTSE. Excuse me, slow. Okay, I'll do the FTSE while he's waiting to come in, because I think we're going to get month end to come in as such. Again, what we're seeing yesterday, quite a few of the government bonds came in yesterday, and obviously the 10-year, we've gone through this before, and I think Matt's spoken to it before. When the 10-year comes off, as we saw in the 10-year yields yesterday, and obviously inflation went up, we saw a massive rally in gold yesterday. That seems to be a big trade at the moment. So keep your eyes on the 10-year. So that goes one way or the other. Gold tends to go the opposite. And yesterday's best trade, probably, although Wall Street was up 200 plus ticks, gold was up one stage, I think, over $25 as such. So in theory, those of you who are technical as such, be very much aware why the markets are moving as such, because what we could have found obviously this week is that we're finding a disconnect between Wall Street and NASDAQ. Obviously, NASDAQ's getting hurt more by the inflation rumors than Wall Street. Most of you know the reasons why for that. Right, I'm going to go on to FTSE. And what did we say before? We're trying to keep as neutral as we can. Let's put it on a 3-minute chart and see where we could go, really. What have we got the target in the FTSE from the other day? Let's try and get the market profile up with the FTSE as well. I think what we saw yesterday in the FTSE, we got a target from the other day. Might see a lot there. Probably quite a bit higher at 7,041. I think that's a target from last week. But we do expect some decent buying here on the opening, and no surprise, we just seen it jump 10 ticks. Why? It's the start of the month. How far do we see that FTSE? What do we say? 20, 30 ticks could be a good start to the Tuesday. But also understand the reason why it's going up. There's no news that's come out in the FTSE whatsoever. However, it's the start of the month. So any of you who have got any thoughts whatsoever of being short, I said to you before, your main point of call is probably 7,041. An easy trade there in FTSE, being long, and what a great way to start your week. I hope some of you got on that, because to me, that was, I don't know, rude word, blinking obvious. Okay, especially, here we go again, 20, 30 ticks. Well, can't get more. George, you must have bought that. Yeah.
I've definitely bought
that. Any of you who have not bought that should be
effing well
shot.
DAX is flying as well.
Yeah, so there we are at the 8 o'clock. Sometimes we get dynamite and gold dust, and that was gold dust. Hopefully, quick scalps in there, 30, 40 ticks. You can't get it easier than that. The only other thing I'd like to say is Bill Gates and his wife are planning to divorce. I'm not the fourth man. If that's a joke, then I'll keep it. All right. Hopefully that's good. Those of you who have got one-to-ones, we'll come back to you today. But again, we're on at 2:25. The other issue we've got, hopefully the Educate to Trade trading platform will be available and set up, and the platform we've got at the moment will slightly be filtered off. Okay, so hopefully that was the easy money on the table. That's probably the best one we've had so far. So a good start to your day. And what did we say in the FTSE?
That was lovely, that, wasn't it?
Round about 40, did we say, to go short? Or we can't call the high as well. Anyway, have a good day, and I'll speak to you later.
Cheers, Neil.
Cheers, Neil.
Still.
Cheers, Neil.
Thank you.